Hi, everyone, and welcome to this 20th episode of the weekly market technical analysis. It's Francois Ablé from GSTA, which is Global Street Trader Academy. There we just find all on the through the social media on Facebook and Twitter and also YouTube. So now I think you have to use to see me each Monday to discussing and decrypt the financial analysis and also technical analysis on the different major pairs on forex, bonds, and other assets, and also including the commodity. So I'm very happy to see you. Hope that you have a great weekend with the Father's Day yesterday. It was like beautiful over here in Kingston. So I'm very happy to see you. And we will see like all the news and also the impact of the there's some past news which is can send impact of doesn't like affecting the our major asset. You will see the different graph. So it's your first time to discover me. We are like in Financial Academy online. There we teach people how to trade stock, bonds, ETF, commodity, forex. So if you intend to be framed and to learn how the financial market works and you want to make money on financial market eventually, I strongly recommend you to keep in touch with us. You can find us as I described before on the YouTube, Facebook. Also, we have also a website which is like not like very not quite ready because it's still maintenance, but I will tell you around the next few days coming that the website is our website is based on like e-learning financial study. So you will see that, and I will let you know where you what time you are ready will be ready to go into or like work for there, and also to learn correctly the financial markets. And also if it's something interesting you, you can also send me an email like in at the inbox, and we'll definitely keep in touch with you guys. So let's start with this financial broadcast, and don't forget also to share this program, to like to for boosting like the audience, and also to let a comment. You have a choice. You can let a comment below each video, or you can also going to put some reviews and the section reviews for Facebook with the stars. You can just put a note or also put a comment, and it help us to increase the quality of this program and this content or this content also and content as well. Right. So here is the disclaimer. Future equity ETF options CFD, and also other derivative in trading have a great potential for rewards for sure, but also a great risk of losing capital. So you have to very be responsible on the risk on the financial market. You need to be aware of the risk and be willing to accept them in order to invest in this product. So don't invest the money that you can afford to lose, as he said. And this program is neither a solicitation or nor an incentive for buying and selling any financial products will be covered from this video. So I'm assuming that you take note from all this disclaimer. So now let's start for the weekly market technical analysis, the 20th of June. It's a very a great a good it could be a great week this weekend, because we have like not we don't have like lots of major news or major macroeconomic data. So now that means that the market have probably digest all the previous shock of macroeconomic data, or also impact of the announcement of ECB or central banks, or Fed, all the stuff. So we be like pretty much only technical analysis on the financial market this week. So you have we will have some like a great strategy for that, and we take an advantage because it's not coming often, as the USD CAD, Dow Jones, gold, and Eurobond. We used to see that usually. We don't need to go in other to see other product, because it's it's fair enough. Okay. So this is we're starting each broadcast with the dollar index, the US dollar index, how you have it usually now to see, and where they see the dollar index, we see that it's quite bullish, right? We see a very great trend line here, which is supported one time, two time, three time, four time, and five time, right? And this trend line is very strong. I can put this like bold to see like, so this trend line is very strong, right? And so some people has intend to for interpreting that the dollar is quite bullish, and they don't have wrong, but they have to be also very careful with that, because I can for me probably it's momentum. It's bullish momentum. It doesn't mean for me that it's very is a nice is a bullish trend, but it's for me it show like a momentum. But if I put at the Ishimoku, which is the indicator for to detect like a great trend line, or to see some like an equilibrium of the market, we see that the dollar, the US dollar index for FXM is not like bullish as we perceive without that, because if you look at here on this trend line, like the oblique trend line, which is played the role as a resistance, we see that the lagging span curve doesn't cross this descending channel again. It's stuck right there. Of course, we break this major resistance for the US dollar index, which is the 12,000. Here we break that with a great uh, bullish engulfing. I will screen zoom for big for you to see. You know that this like pattern, technical pattern, is bullish engulfing, because is swallow all the previous candle here, and is break that with strongest. But the when you if you projected 26 period behind the charts, we see that the lagging span with the curve of lagging span doesn't cross yet, didn't cross yet the descending channel, and it's stuck here. So it could also play the resistance role. So very careful with that, guys, because why I'm showing that, because I saw that many people, of course, we got some like a great event and great news, like political and macroeconomic news for the dollar, because the Fed hiking rates for the second time in this year, even though it was like expected. The rate was 1.75, and they increased to 2%. So that means it shows that they are very confident for to target the real targeting for the fork for the inflation at the 2% from this year to the next year, right? So it's like we starting to enter in the like tightening policy. And also we got Donald Trump score like a great point for diplomacy with the North Korean leader Kim Jong-un at Singapore. But we got also unfortunately we got also the retaliation from on oil, like American oil and American gas on for the China to United States. And we got also a fiasco of the G7 plus one and the Canada, where Donald Trump treat the Prime Minister Justin Trudeau as a scammer, because he wasn't agree with the agreement of as proposed by Justin Trudeau for through this G7. So broadly way, the dollar is still is bullish. We have the great news for dollar with one part, and in another part we have to be very careful. Technically, we can see that for Ishimoku specialist, we're not bullish. We're not bullish. We're starting to have a momentum, a bullish momentum. So it could like going further for sure. We break a major resistance as a 12,000, and this resistance also played a role as a pivot point, because we see here on the previous 26 or 52 period previously, we see that we got a twist here on this zone. So it's very important zone, but as long as we stay on this descending channel, we cannot I cannot pretend that we bullish. Okay, so it could fail here and also reintegrate this channel, and the dollar could like looks and show some like a weekend signs, right? So people which is trade the dollar as a daily or intraday, they will have the impression that the dollar is a bullish, right? Because they see the dollar at the small time frame. Of course, daily is not the small time frame. So that's why I told you that it's a bullish. We starting the momentum, a bullish momentum, but the trend, because in the trend we can have like a 3 to 4 momentum. Okay, because like a real cycle of the evolution of some chart, of some like a progression from a chart, it's composed to the 2 correction and 3 impulsive movement. Okay, so as the correct cycle here, we can see that the market seems to be bullish, positive, but at the very long term, like weekly or monthly, we're not like quite definitely like bullish. We're still on the cloud, and it's red. We don't have like any twist over here, and the lagging span curve doesn't cross currently this descending channel. So I can pretend that the dollar like is very now bullish. It will be bullish if you cross all the way here and we pass this zone, and now we got a twist here, and the cloud will be like green. Then we can talk about that the dollar is positive. So very careful with that if you intend to prepare some strategy on the like euro dollar. I know that euro dollar is bearish because ECB made make is a major announcement as they they will ending the QE program, and also they doing like a tricky statement. Also, they said that they will keep as much as long the interest rate at 0 until 2009. So it's a kind of a double message. It's kind of bullish message, and again dovish message, which is like balancing the opinion. So we don't know like quietly what is the right things to do. So it's just neutral message, because they say that they will end as soon as possible the purchasing asset program, the PAP, and also they said again at the same time that they will keep the rate interest and the refinancing rate as low as much as possible. So it's a double message. So that's why and in the same time the dollar was like very aggressive. So that's why it puts pressure on the euro dollar. But you have to be very careful with that, because dollar is not like the dollar is not conceived to be strong. Of course, that the Fed put the pressure on that, but the President Trump again want to have the dollar as low as much as possible, because he want to be competitive on the trade world, and that's why he just all anytime strong, like use the challenge to China to be competitive. So that's when the dollar is low, it's better for United States to can that they can export their product to the other foreigners country. Okay, so as we talk, so USD card is a pretty the same remarks. So as a USD card, we have a great opportunity here, because if you see this scenario on the time frame H4, okay, you will see that we got some I will draw a scenario for you, and you will see my vision on USD card. So USD card, like, it's probably comes to to be like a bullish sorry, not bullish movement, but a bearish movement for coming, okay? Because we see that we play as the ascending channel as much, and now we just like coming here probably so to test like the dollar 32.50 or dollar 33, right? And then we can have some like this kind of movement. So you just be patient, and you can have probably the time to for shorting in this area here. I will just like show you correctly. So the blue line here, aqua blue line here, is the, remember that it was like the critical level for the monthly close. So it's a like is a two is a line for 2 monthly close, like for May and April, right? And we break that with like a solid movement. I will like increase my the screen, okay? So you will see that we break that like with a solid movement, and then we continue the movement, and we looking to like to fail at the dollar 30 dollar 32, and we got some say like probably two scenario of that. So we can have like a progression again until the gray zone here, or we can have also some a double top movement, which is like very great for us because it will confirm that the sellers take this market, okay? So we coming here to int the previous level, the red line here, which is the highest it's the highest level from the semester, because we have the high and low. So the highest level of semester is the dollar 31 210, okay? So we can come in here to do some this movement, so to int that, and after going for to pull back, and if you fail here again, then it will be the great time for us for shorting. So it's coming also with the same scenario as we pretend and we prepare for that. So very careful and be patient for that, because it's a very great opportunity to sell USD CAD, because we can have some like a big decision this week. We got some at Vienna. Vienna, it's Austrish. We got some major meeting on OPEC and for oil. And if China puts some a retaliation and also a sanction on the tariff for oil and gas for America, they could go to see Saudi Arabia or like Canada for the crude oil, right? And if they do that, the Canadian dollar could be like reinforced, and then it will be confirm our analysis, technical analysis, to go in our direction in that way. Okay, so it's very important to looking the news, because if this scenario like show up, we can like take advantage and to can short the USD CAD properly, okay, at this level. But don't short the USD CAD again at the dollar 31 32, just waiting that the dollar could go to doing like in the first time this movement, or if it didn't that way, you can just let him to go until the gray zone here around dollar 33 or dollar 32.50, okay? And then you can have so like a nice entry. And please don't forget also that we have a major event on the oil and OPEC at Vienna, at Austriche. There, if they can take a decision to like freeze again a production for the next period to come for coming, or if they want to uh, like increase the production, it will affect massively the USD CAD. Okay, so very careful with that. It's a pretty much the same notice here. How as we see here, we starting to like to draw some like, of course, we have a nice bullish. This is Arami. Arami is not like with we don't have any wicks on that. We have just like a body of the on the candle, right? And it's a massive, and we fell like below a resistance. So sometimes we can have some like a very bearish movement here to do a pullback on this level, and then the market going after to test it like new high. So very careful with this pattern, and you have to looking for for shorting USD CAD in this week. As my concern as me is my scenario, so everyone can do it when he want. Okay. So again, it's a pretty much the same thing as uh, the uh, the US 30, which is the CFD of the Dow Jones, no, so the DJIA, to Dow Jones Industrial Average. So as we see here, we have like a wide descending channel. I told you before when I prepared this financial rubric that very careful with the red zone here, and we see that we got some we fell here, and we starting to correct. So that's why I wanted to talk you that, because people are intending to buy the indices, and I said no, it's not a good idea. So that's why I want to talk with you. As we see, we fell on this important zone, which is 25,290 and 25,500. So this zone here we fell, and now we correct. Probably we're gonna to do some pullback on the like orange zone and to recoming, because this pattern is it tend to show us like sometimes as it's quite bullish, right? So it could doing some this kind of scenario like this, maybe test again. And if you fail here, so that would be critical, because it will be marked some kind of double top. So it will be like collapse until the previous level. Or if you not like fail and we break, as I will show you. Okay. So if you're not failing, we can have some pullback here, going there, okay, and play around here like many times, and then boom, and going to see like other else. Okay, so we have like a 2 or 3 scenario on the Dow Jones. So that means it's very difficult for trading the indices. Of course, somebody will tell me that about the US dollar index is still like bullish. So that means the indices are very weakened, right? And they're not have wrong to say that, because they are inverted correlated. But very careful with the dollar, as again as I told you, the dollar is not quite definitely bullish. We have a bullish momentum for here, depends of the like because of news of the Fed, and also the diplomacy between North Korea and also the Donald Trump. But it's not that again the end. We can have also like a kind of weakness of the dollar, and then the US index could like take an advantage for that, because they are again inverted correlated. So as we see here, if we put again Ishimoku, you see that Ishimoku show you that the wide of the cloud seems to be like very now tightening. So that means if you have a twist here, because the lagging span curve doesn't it fell on the red zone here, and it recross again the chart, which is previous like the 26 previously, right? So that means that at short term, like very short term, we are bearish on indices at very short term. But in short term to mid term, we are quite neutral, and for long term, we could be like neutral to bullish, like to have like probably a massive movement here, and then we can also reintegrate this technical pattern. We can see also the difference at the weekly pattern here. Look, you see that it's critical. The Kijun and the Tenkan line play the role as a support, so it can take a support here, and then if it's break this level, we can have some like a diving for the Dow Jones. But if it's stable here and is like it kept the zone like strong, then we can have like probably a massive movement for buyers. Okay, perfect. So for the gold, there's nothing to say. Gold, it's a as I told you, like the like mostly time the gold for me, it's a strategy for accumulating. So each low that we will do for gold, I will buy the low. Okay. Now we are in 1280. I'm just looking for to have a movement for bearish movement to buy a gold at the this trend line, this trend line which is starting to 2015. So it's a 3 years trend line here, so it's very strong. And it's we have also kind of a clustered with Tenkan and Kijun here. So the the major point to buy a gold definitely it's at 1250. Okay, so at this level at 1250, it's a pretty much the better way to buy gold and to let the movement goes, because this is the like the monthly analysis. If it goes to weekly, we see clearly that the gold is still bullish, right? So I'm not the guy which is want to play on the intraday for gold for like above all CFD. You can do that if you want, but I strongly recommend you, if you want to trade for gold, you can trade as future. You have so much opportunity there as to trade on intraday. But if you want to do some CFD as like a strategy for long term, just be patient and just looking to buy a gold at 12,150. Okay, this is my clear and my major zone here. You see that's it's kind of the low at the SSB for the Ishimoku cloud, and also it's the cluster with the trend line which is starting at 2015 to this year. So it's a 3 years trend line support here. That's why. So I didn't change my mind for gold. So let's see the to finish this program at with a Eurobond. So Eurobond has the major statement that Mario Draghi said with ECB that they will keep the refinancing rate as much as low as possible. We see like a bullish movement here, and that means that in long term the debt of the UCB seems to be like to stay like for a long period, because as we if you remember the day that the Fed they do some announcement to say they will stop some soothing policy to now to be tightening and aggressive policy at 2014. It make like a free they said the announcement at 2014, and they starting effectively this policy at 2018, so it take like 4 years after to balancing the cycle. So it's a pretty much the same scenario that we can expect it at the ECB, because if they said we will end definitely the QE, which is a non-conventional policy, it could like take maybe 3 to 4 years. Then the cycle will be we can entry the new cycle for balancing the balance for the debt. Okay, so that means in the long term, Eurobond it's draw to be bullish, right? So as long as we below this level, we can just stay neutral. We can buy the low for the orange line here technically, or you can also waiting, and if you break this purple line here, we can now buy for pursuing this movement, because if you going back in the long term vision, you will see that we are in I will just you see that we have in a descending channel, and a descending channel is it tend to be like bullish movement, because starting to take some a pivot and the below here, then we can have a movement to pursue on the high. So as we see the like dash line here, the diagonal for dash line here, if you break that, we can have some a great movement for coming to see like the previous level for high for records. So technically the pattern of the ECB as like expected to be like a bullish movement. So I'm just waiting each low to buy, because it's pretty much the only scenario that we can see. But we can also have like a tricky movement. It was difficult to detect that, but I do for you. You know, we have something like this, something like this. You know, when we have some like a support here, and then we can have some. I will just show you what my vision here over here. So I restart. So here, 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 and then here, right? And then we can have some opportunity for buying like the bond for going on the previous, or if you break it directly at the free step for the movement, we can have some massive movement, because there's isn't some like a technical level to support the movement. So there is like it's empty, so we can have feel this movement, and we can see like a massive movement for coming to in Eurobond. Okay. So now I'm finished with this presentation. So now let's start now the recap for the weekly summary. So as I said, USD CAD is technical short term is bullish. We see that, and technical long term is neutral to bearish. Dow Jones is technical short term, so that's why you be very careful to just stay out the market, just to looking only for the major line and critical line to buy or selling the market. Don't buy and selling like anywhere, because you could be trapped. Okay. And commodity gold technical short term, we definitely bearish to neutral, and after for the long term, that's why I'm just looking to accumulate each low for buying, so neutral to bullish. And Eurobond is pretty much the same thing. Technical short term, we are neutral, because we are between the orange line, which is the like some a pivot point, which is play a role as support and resistance, and the purple line is the close, the monthly close for the previous movement. So it's very difficult to take a decision through this zone. We are just waiting that we coming to take a support on the orange zone, or we break that directly for the purple, and then we can intend to buy this level. So the key level for to watch as USD CAD is $30 32.50. So the top of the major ascending channel, or $33. It could be like between this. For the H4 day one, so daily, the POC is the point of control is a $27 250. Is this level that the market like stays very strong. The IGIA, it's 25,500 to 25,700, which is the right signal to buy or selling the Dow Jones. After that, in intraday, you can do scalping if you want, but I'm not a scalper. That's why I gave you the critical zone for waiting to do some like day trading or swing trading. But at the intraday trader or scalping, they can play like all around this zone, so it doesn't matter. But you can also use this point, because it could be for you a landmarks to for trading correctly, to know the way where the market's supposed to go, right? So the POC is 23,650. The gold, I sorry for or is French for sure, is or to is a gold, so it's a 1250 to 1284 signal, and the POC is 1240 to 1250. Okay, and Eurobond for finish is still again 160.50 signal as the POC 161 for 50. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you like it, please Let us know to for share and like it, and also let a comment for the reviews section on Facebook. And also it will help us to increase the quality of the this program, because if you see the difference between the last broadcast, we give you like the right things, the we're not talking about the market. We give you the point and the signal and the level for trading. So it helped like the most of majority of retail trader for approaching the financial market and technically, and also to have some idea on the fundamental analysis. And you can also definitely coming to see us if you want to be framed and to learn the financial market for make money like each day, like almost on financial markets. So thank you so much for watching this video. I thank you really for to support this our community, and we see you around on the next time. It was François Ablé for GST Canada. It's 7:30 Ontario. Thank you so much.